Testing, testing. Can anyone hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? How about now? I think do we have sound now? That's up to you guys to let me know. Can you hear me? No? Don't like it when this happens. We're going to do this. We're going to try one more thing. Oh, good, you hear me. Well, give me a second because we're trying one more thing. One more thing here. Because I have a funny feeling it's doing something weird. All right, how about now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are we good? I think I'm getting something. It's also doing some beeping, which is weird, but can you guys hear me good? I swear every time this app updates, things... Hello, Elizabeth, right? Hello, guys. Welcome in, welcome in. But we're good now. You guys can hear me? Last guy. Okay, fantastic. It does a weird beeping thing on my end, but I'm going to ignore that. We're going to keep trucking along. Welcome to Genetics Creations. I don't know why we're having tech issues every time the software gets an update, but we are good to go, and we are here. If you're new here, my name is Jen. Welcome in. I teach crochet. We do a live class. That's what you walked into. This is a live class, but it will be available for replay after. So if you ever can't stay for my classes or anything, you can always save this link, come back to it after, go through it on your own time frame, whatever works for you guys. But the great news is we are live every week, 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time here on YouTube. So definitely subscribe, smash the bell, as you guys all say, and set up all the notifications and everything so you guys will get what you want. Today's class is brought to you by Tara. I don't know if she's here right now, but she has requested us to work through a pattern. So a few things that are going on, what you guys are going to want to grab while I get all the intros and all the necessities in. Some scrap yarn. Probably 2 colors. I am going to teach you guys how to change colors, but just grab some scrap yarn. You don't need a whole lot. We are going to be diving into a blanket. This pattern, the link is in the description. It is available for free. You can also go to this website, and if you type in V-stitch crochet blanket, this pattern will come up. You can print it off. It's a 2-pager, or you can put both sides on one page, however you want to do it. But it's a nice, easy, free one, and we're going to go through it. So I'm going to teach you how to read the pattern, as well as how to read the diagram that's in it, and then we're going to be demonstrating. So we'll make ourselves a small swatch. We're not going to obviously make a full blanket today. In case you guys are new to blankets, they usually take, for me, on a 4-weight yarn, it'll take me probably a good week and a half, and that's assuming I don't get distracted. And if anyone knows me, I might get a little distracted from time to time. So that being said, if you guys are new to blankets, just know it's a long road. It's a long road, but it is worth it. But for today, we're just going to make a small swatch. We're going to practice the stitch. We're going to work through a color change. We're going to do 2 colors changes, so one color change, sorry. We'll go from one color to the next, and then we'll work on the border. After that, you guys should have the skills you need to take this to a full blanket. So then go to your local store, go find the yarn of your dreams, and then try making it. This technically calls for bulky yarn. If you'll notice, it says super bulky, which is a 6. I'm going to be practicing on a 4. The only difference you're going to have is when you move up to 6, you're going to want a bigger hook. So while I am using a J, also a 10 or a 6 millimeter, you will likely be using something different when using the 6. I'll show you. For a 6, you're going to want to size up in hook. Likely you are going to want to be 10 millimeter, N, or 15. So those are things to consider when you go to bulky. But for now, just grab whatever yarn you guys have and whatever hook is kind of comparable. You don't need to worry about it much, okay? So just grab some. What's the name? The name is Yarn Inspirations. This is the Bernat blanket patterns, Relaxing V-Stitch Crochet Blanket. It's free. You can print it off. The link is also in the description. So if you guys want to grab that afterwards, I linked it all right there. Okay, let me make sure I don't lose that. While you guys are grabbing your yarn, your hook, and you might want some scissors, we're going to do a color change, so just be ready to cut yarn and everything. Let's go ahead and also show you what else is in the description. If you guys are new here, there's a free tool that I have available for all of you, especially if you're a beginner. You're going to want to print this off and keep it by your side. It has, this QR code will take you to all things genetics. So if you guys ever want to look at my emails in there, any of my other social media platforms, any of the links that I discuss, or as I start working with students, there's certain things that work for you guys to get. I update I update all the links there. So things that you might find might be the stitch markers that I recommend by Karen, the hooks that I personally use, the Susan Bates hooks, yarn needles, whatever it is, you're going to find a lot of that in here. In fact, someone just requested the headphones that I typically use. I've just updated those on my shop as well. So yes, they're affiliate links. You guys all know how that works, but this tool right here is free. So definitely grab this tool. It's going to have a lot of the abbreviations. If you guys are new to crochet, it can start looking like a very different language. All of these shorthand codes actually mean something. And if you're trying to read patterns, it can help to have something kind of break those down a little bit. So this is free. You guys can print that off. It's great. If you've never done crochet diagrams, we are going to be doing a little bit of that today. But if you've never done them, this can be helpful to see the different stitches that are typically in a crochet diagram. Some of them that you're going to see today is going to be a double crochet and a chain right here. So we're definitely going to be going through all of that. But that is free to you. So definitely go into the description and print that off whenever is convenient for you. Let's see. You guys should have your yarn. Again, like I said, these hooks, this needle, these are kind of like basic things that I've had for years. I started this business with scrap yarn and these hooks. I didn't even have these needles until later. I just wove in all of my ends using my crochet hooks, something you guys can do, but this will definitely make things a lot easier. So all things that I have links for in there. And if you guys have any questions throughout, I have the chat going. I can definitely address any questions you guys have, as well as if you guys need me to demonstrate something again, if I go too fast, if I'm going too slow, let me know. I'm here to make this class for you guys. The only reason I even created this channel is because a lot of people told me they wish they had learned crochet. And I said the great way to do that is to meet with everyone virtually on a schedule that works for them. And that's why I keep everything available for replay. If you can't make it, you can always catch up after. So definitely check out the Get Hooked playlist. It has all of my old classes. This is not the first blanket we've worked on. We've also done a star blanket off of this same website. So what does that tell you? If you like what you see, you guys also may want to check out their other patterns as well. And if you guys have anything that you're like, I really want to learn this, but I just feel like it's too overwhelming, let me know. That's exactly why we're working on this pattern. Someone looked it up. They really want to try it, but they felt like it was just a little bit too overwhelming the way it was written. I said, well, send it my way. We can totally do that for a class. So I'm here for you guys, okay? Are we ready? Does everyone have their hook, their yarn? I did my nails finally. If you guys don't know, I'm also an independent Color Street stylist. It is dry nail polish. I live a chaotic life. I am always on the go. I do not have time to wait for my nail polish to dry. But we have the new ones. The new ones are in, and this is one other exclusive off of their subscription box. You don't have to do a subscription box, but I do because I'm always changing my nails and making them all pretty. So that is all things that you will find in this channel. Feel free to ask any questions along the way. We are going to start. Again, this recommends a size 6 bulky yarn. If that's something you guys want to do, my favorite tends to be Bernat blanket yarn. Why do I like the Bernat blanket yarn? It is thick. It has got a really good texture to it. It's super soft, but with these Chanel style yarns, I know this isn't technically Chanel, but these fuzzy yarns, I should have grabbed some. Let me see if I have any nearby real quick. I do not. Do I? I do not. I don't know where my stash of extras went, but with that yarn, what technically happens a lot is it can shed, meaning that the fibers, because it's kind of fuzzy like a pipe cleaner, when you pull the ends, the fibers can shed off and you'll see it. And it gets really difficult when it comes to pulling a magic circle tight, or when you go to weave in your ends, if the sheds all come off and all you're left with is the skinny little string that's inside the center, it can start getting very difficult to work with. But the Bernat blanket yarn does not tend to do that. I don't know if they just weave things in tighter or what, but it does not tend to do that like other fuzzy yarns I've tried. So I love the burnout blanket yarn, especially for patterns like this, but we are going to practice with normal yarn. So let's go ahead and grab our normal yarn, our quote unquote normal hook, and we're going to get started. So a lot of things that you'll notice with a pattern, and I'm going to try to use this as much as I can, although I know it's not going to be super clear for you guys. You always have the abbreviations. This is what you would find in my free download. So when it comes to like approx means approximately, CH is chain, DC, double crochet. Some of those are pretty standard, but just in case you're new to any of these, it's a good place to check when you first start a pattern, take a look at it and whatnot. You're also going to see all the recommended yarn in the corner. This is just what they tell you to get. They do an A and a B color, so you're going to do 2 different colors. 4 balls or 808 yards, 3 balls or 557 yards. So this is just a really good way. They recommend an 8mm hook. I was showing you a 10. I also had a 9. I tend to go up in hook size because I have tighter tension, so I would use a 9 on this one and be fine with it. But if you're a stickler for gauge and you really want to be pattern specific, get yourself that 8mm. Otherwise, just know it's probably going to be a little bit looser. No big deal. Gauge. I know I've had a lot of students ask me about gauge. I'm glad it's good information because this is stuff I usually overlook, Becky. This is stuff I usually overlook. Gauge. What this means is that 7 single crochets. When I go and I stitch 7 single crochets and I'm going and making those stitches, when they're done, let's just assume these are my crochets. When I'm done, these 7, according to this, or 8 rows, needs to be about 4 inches. So if you're someone who's trying to replicate the gauge, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This only creates 2 inches or just over that. Per the gauge, it should be 4. So we already know if I follow the pattern using this yarn, it is likely going to be, the finished product is likely going to be half of the size of what the pattern predicts it to be. So you can do one of 2 things. You can either make the rows longer or you can try to get the appropriate yarn and the appropriate hook to match your gauge. Okay? So I know this is a lot and it's kind of overwhelming. At the end of the day, I technically never pay attention to gauge. I will find the adjustment to make the size of the blanket that I need to, and then I will just go by measurements beyond that, and I'll show you how we do that. Other instructions, chain 3. The chain 3 at the beginning of each row will count as a double crochet. That'll make more sense to you later. Stretches. Yeah, it can stretch. This will stretch a little bit. This will stretch. Work initial chain firmly to match height of following rows. So if you guys chain loosely, you might find that those chains at the beginning might adjust the height of your stitches or the height of the row if we're not careful. So we'll pay attention to that. And then to change colors, work the last 2 loops on the hook of the last stitch, draw a new color through the last 2 loops and proceed. So Becky, that would be our invisible join. So I will show you guys how to do that. With A, chain 117. Okay, we are not going to chain 117. Because right here it says, or multiples of 3 plus 6. That is the part I pay attention to. If I wanted to make this a blanket, I'm going to do multiples of 3 until I get the desired length or the desired width, however you're making it, and then I'm going to add the 6 that it tells you. So that's how you can make sure that you're making the size that you want. So let's do multiples of 3 plus 6. Multiples of 3 plus 6. Get yourself some yarn and start with a slip knot. So am I zoomed in enough here? I want to make sure you guys can see me clearly. Da, 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 da. Okay. Oh, we can get rid. That's what's making the beeping. Ah, I got rid of it. Yay. Okay. To make a slip knot, I just put the yarn over itself, and then we're pulling through. Not all the way though, because you just want it to grab the yarn. And we're going to go ahead and pull it somewhat tight. So we said chain 3, multiples of 3 plus 6. I want to make something about this size, okay? I'm not trying to go super crazy for our class, so I'm 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to keep 1, 2, 3. Oh, I should go back and show you guys how to chain. Some of you guys are super beginners. I am sorry. Rude. Yarn over, and you're pulling through. So that's 1. This is a chain. Yarn over, pull through. Don't see how it's not super tight. You want to be kind of comfortably out. Yarn over, pull through. That was 3 chains. See how it creates like a little braid going on right there? Get used to that visibly because you're going to be seeing that a lot in crochet. 1, 2, 3. So now we have 2 multiples of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I want to make it a little bit bigger. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger because I really want to make sure you guys can see it as we keep going, and then we'll do our 2 and 3. So as long as you've been doing multiples of 3, you should have something roughly about here. And let's just say we are tiny people and this is perfect for a blanket, because this is when you're going to say, you know what, I like this width for a blanket. Let's go ahead and move on to our chain 6 in our next rows. But obviously we know this is small. Again, I'm just trying to do a little swatch so we can, and I want it to be kind of about the same size as we've done here in another class, in case you guys, there it goes. This was the cat stitch we did in another class. You probably remember it, but yeah, we're just trying to mimic that size. So we've done multiples of 3. Now we're going to chain our 6. This is going to count as a double crochet in a turn. I know it doesn't say that, but I just know it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This might be a little bit on the big side for a normal class, but that's okay. The stitch works up really fast. That's what's also nice about this one, is this will be a quicker blanket, a lighter blanket, but a quicker blanket. All right. So we're going to keep working through the pattern because I want you guys to start feeling comfortable working through patterns. So I'm going to keep referring back to this. See diagram on page 2. In case you wanted to, this is the diagram. And as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And that was their multiples of 3 plus here's their 6. So that is what we have done. This diagram is that easy to read. You have your chains. Here's our first double crochet because that's 1, 2, 3. That was one of the last 6 that we just made. 3 of those is assigned to this stitch. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches and we're going to go into the 3rd stitch. But let's read it first so we can make sure we're all on the same page. And again, if you guys have any questions, please, I have the chat right here. I want to make sure you guys learn how to do this on your own with patterns, because at the end of the day, if you guys can get a pattern, you guys can make anything you want. You just have to find the pattern for it. And then later on, you can start learning how to go rogue and manipulate them. But until then, start with patterns. I've gotten a ton of projects done just by finding the right pattern. Foundation row, right side. We're not going to worry about that too much right now, but just know that there is a right side and a wrong side, technically. Okay, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. That is all V-stitch made. That is in parentheses for a reason, so don't ignore that. That parentheses is important. And we're going to start in the 6th chain from the hook. Okay. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going into the 6th chain from the hook. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So how do we double crochet? Yarn over. The double stitch is throwing me off. It will at first, Athena. Don't worry. Yarn over. We're doing it together. You're going to insert the hook. I like to put my finger here because if you pull too tight and it turns, you're going to have that problem. So feel free to hold your stitch, but yarn over, insert your hook, pull up 1, pull up 2, and pull up 2. Should have a lot of space there. This is a more open stitch. Then you're going to chain 1, no different than our other chains, and double crochet right back into the same stitch. This is a V-stitch, so yarn over. I put my finger here. If you feel like you need to hold it there, that's okay. Just until you start getting the idea of how to make the tool do the work for you, use what you have. You have fingers for a reason. Did you know that? But go right back into the exact same stitch we were working in. So we're not going anywhere yet. Boom. Pull up 1. Pull up 2. Pull up 2. Now, if you're super new to crochet, notice I grab the yarn. I always turn my hook kind of down towards this hand before I pull through my loops. That will help you not grab the yarn and not catch other things. So again, let the tool do the work. Rotate it down. Rotate it down. Everything is in that motion. If you guys are pencil holders, there's ways to do it too. But I tend to hold it like a, what is it called? Knife or a fork? I tend to hold it that way. If you guys are pencil holders, you're probably going to be doing more of this action, but make sure you really embrace the idea of turning that hook down towards your hand to help you swoop everything through those loops. All right, let's go back to our pattern. So we make sure that we're following the instructions. So we already did that in the 6th stitch. We're going to skip 5 chains counts as a double crochet and 2 skip chains. So what they're saying is this right here counts as 1, 2 chains, and 1, 2, 3 counts as a double crochet. So you've got yourself a border stitch and 2 skip stitches. If you want to verify that using the diagram, this is what we did. We went into the 6th chain from the hook. You have your 3 right here and your 2. So hopefully that's making sense so far. All right, skip next 2 chains. Then we're going to V-stitch in the next chain. Repeat from star to the last 3 chains, which is just skip 2, V-stitch, skip 2, V-stitch, skip 2, V-stitch. So let's go ahead and start doing that across. And we'll go slow, so don't freak out. Here's where we worked our last stitch. We're going to 1, 2, we're going to skip those 2, and we're going to work in to that stitch right there. So we're doing the exact same stitch, yarn over, going into that stitch, pull up 1, pull up 2, and pull up 2. And then we're going to chain 1. And go right back into the same stitch. How's everyone doing? I'm going to keep going. We're going slow. Again, we're going to yarn over 1, 2. We're going to skip those 2, and we're going into the 3rd stitch with our double crochet. Chain 1 and going right back into it. The V-stitch is a really good stitch. It creates like a really nice open mesh feel. And you can use it in a lot of things. You can even put like more solid stuff on top and bottom, like it can create a striping effect. 1, 2, you just want to make sure you always have your multiples of 3 plus the 6 when you start. Otherwise, you're going to end up at the end of the row and you're not going to have what you need. If you're someone like me that customizes stuff and goes, ooh, I like this stitch, I wonder what it would look like in. Just make sure you have the appropriate amount of base stitches going across. I'm going to keep going to the end. But guys, anyone having issues? Anyone need me to demonstrate any part of that again? Before we go into row 2. 1, 2, 3. We're going into that 3rd. Da, 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 da. 1, 2, 3. And chain. 1, up 2, up 2. Now we're at the end. We have 3 chains left. Is everyone kind of there? Some people probably chained more. I'm taking a sip of my water. Hopefully you guys are too. Okay. I'm not seeing any comments, so I'm hoping everyone's good. Everyone's got to be good. We're at the last, so we repeat across to the last 3 chains. Boom, 1, 2, 3. We're right where we should be. Okay? Skip the next 2 chains and work 1 double crochet into the last chain. And then we're going to turn. So just if we want to double check and look at our diagram, again, you're learning how to read diagrams just as much as you're learning how to read patterns here. We just did double, chain, double. We're going to skip 2. There's no chains in between right here, so we're going double crochet right into that last chain. So that's what we're doing. We're skipping 2 and going in there. All of it makes sense, so let's go ahead and demonstrate. We're skipping 2, 1 and 2, and we're going right in to that stitch right there. So yarn over, double crochet into the final chain. And we're going to turn. I don't know if it technically makes a difference. I know some people are advocates of turning this way. I have always turned this way by pulling my work over the top and just turning. I would just say if you're going to pick one or the other, stick with the same way and try to create a muscle memory, because it can help you not rotate some of your chains if you ever needed to go into them in the future. So just create a good habit. Go the same direction. I do it like I'm turning a book. No different than turning the pages of a book. All right. Congratulations, guys. We did a row. Woo woo. All right. What's our next row? And we're already going to be in the repeat soon. So this is going really fast, I promise. First row. So we've already turned. Now we're going to chain 3. Remember, that counts as our double crochet. Chain 3, V-stitch into chain 1 space of each V-stitch to end of row. That might sound overwhelming, and that's okay. Let's start by chaining 3, and the rest will come together. So chain 3, again, that's just pulling through the loop. 1, 2, 3. Where are our chain 1 spaces? Don't overthink it. Where do we do chain 1s? We chained 1 here. We chained 1 there. There. So you're literally going to go into the space. You're not going into the chain, or it would say chain. It says to go into the chain 1 space. So we're going to work our V-stitch here. You're going to work another one there. And you're going to keep doing that all the way across. So let's go ahead and do that together. Yarn over. Go into the chain 1 space. Pull up 1, 2, 2. Chain 1. And you're going to finish that V-stitch. So you should have something that looks like that. I'm going to do probably 3 rows of each color before we start switching to the border. So let me know if you guys need me to re-demonstrate, or if you guys are holding strong on this one. But let's keep going. Yarn over, going right back in, pull up 1, pull up 2, 2, so that's our double. Here's our chain 1, and then you're working 1 final double crochet. Going forward, if you guys ever hear the words V-stitch, automatically you should be thinking, oh, double chain 1 double, double chain 1 double, double chain 1 double. Don't overthink. Some of these fancy stitch names are literally just stitches like in repetition that have been, you're good? Good, Elizabeth. Good, good. A lot of times these fancy names, they're just a compilation of basic stitches. You just need to learn what those are. So that's okay. That's okay. So we're going to keep going until you get to the end, and then we'll read what it says to do after. Are any of you guys super new to reading patterns? Is this one of your first times actually reading one? Is it making sense? Do you guys feel like you might actually start challenging yourself to read patterns on your own? Or are some of you guys experts at reading patterns? Let me know. Absolutely, Liz. Thank you so much. Anything I can do to help. Anything. All right, you should be there. Notice I did not go into this last set of chains. We still have something we're going to do right there. But even though I already know what it's going to be, we're going to be good. We're going to read the pattern. We're going to read the pattern. Okay, so we V-stitched in each chain one space all the way to the end of the row. So now we're going to do 1 double crochet on the top of the turning chain, and then we're going to turn again. It keeps saying to repeat the last row to form pattern. So we're just going to repeat until the end of time is how it comes. But this is our turning chain right here, is the top of our chain 3s. So yarn over, and we're working a double crochet. I like to grab both of those loops. So if you're going into that chain, try to grab both of them. I am learning, but getting there. Good. The more I read, the more I understand. That's how it comes. It's just like learning a language. It's just like learning another language. So very good, very good. Finish your double crochet right there on top of the turning chain. And then we're going to repeat that row one more time. If you guys don't remember, what did we do? We chained 3 and then, we turned and then chained 3. If you want to go back to the diagram, this can help. Chain 3, and then we're working this way. Chain 3, and then we're working this way. So nothing different. So let's go ahead and turn. Again, we're just turning the pages of a book. 1, 2, 3. Elizabeth, I see your comment. I overthink. You are talking to the queen of overthinkers right here. But that is 9 times out of 10. When a pattern goes south, it is because we are either overthinking it or we think we know more than we think the pattern writer made a boo-boo and we're trying to anticipate that boo-boo. So you're not alone. You're not alone. This is Vicky. Awesome. Yay. Hi, Vicky. I added the link to the headphones. I added the link to the headphones. It's in my link tree. So if you guys are wanting to get the same pair that I got, it is now on the shop section of my link tree. That link is in the bio as well. All right. V-stitch. Again, that's just double, chain 1, double. And we're going to change colors at the end of this row. Double, chain 1, double. Going into the next one. You like it. Good, good, good. All right, at the end of this row, do not finish the last double crochet because we are going to change colors, and I'm going to do it the same way they describe in the pattern, which I have been told by Miss Becky that it is also called an invisible change or an invisible join or something like that, color change. I don't care what it's called, I just know what I do. Chain 1. And we're there. Is everyone ready to try their first color change? I want you guys to go ahead and work this double crochet into the turning chain again, grabbing both loops, but you're not going to finish it. So pull up 1, pull up 2, and then stop. And then we're going to stop. And we're going to color change together. Grab a drink of water. Are you guys ready to color change? Are we ready? Are we ready? This is not going to be scary. It's not going to be scary at all. Where did my scissors go? Brought to you by Karen. All right, we're cutting. There's no going back now. So you're going to cut. We can move color A to the side, bring on color B. Let me give myself some slack. And we're going to do 2 rows with color B, and then we'll go ahead and do a border. Do you guys want the border in pink or do you want the border in gray? You'll have to let me know. A lot of that's probably going to depend on what's easier for you guys to see. I line up my yarn with the cut piece. Then I'm going to pick up my work and I'm going to pinch my yarn right there. So I'm holding my work. I'm holding my work right there, and I'm holding the new yarn right there. Don't worry. Don't worry, Vicky. It's cool. The great news is this will be available for replay. So even though you're working and you're getting those phone calls, you can still catch up and learn. And don't forget, any comments you guys put in these videos after the fact, I will respond. I will get back to you. So now we're just going to yarn over and we're going to finish that double crochet with color B. Nothing crazy there. Did everyone catch that? We had the 2 loops left on our previous double crochet, and I just pulled through with color B. If you are a knot person, do not do this part. Walk away, take a sip of water, go refill your water. If you are a knot person, some people don't believe in putting knots in their projects. This is a big debate in the crochet community. I like to because I know I stick my stuff in the washing machine from time to time, and I want to make sure it's going to last. So I will tie this first knot, not super tight. This one is just until it gets kind of a little bit tighter than plush with the work. And then I'm going to tie that second knot. If you guys don't want to tie knots, you're just going to fasten all these ends in at the end by weaving them in. Or you can sew them in when we do the border. But I like to get that out of the way. And now we're going to turn. Again, we're just turning the pages of a book. And chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to repeat again. So V-stitch into every chain 1 space. We are in the repeat section. If you guys have any questions, this is a perfect time for you guys to type them in there. Work a few more rows because then we're going to switch to a border, and that is literally the pattern. This is a nice, easy 1-row repeat. That's what they call it when you're literally doing the same 1 row and you're just repeating it throughout the project. A 4-row repeat would be row 1, 2, 3, 4, repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. You have 6-row repeats, you have 2-row repeats. This is a nice, simple 1-row repeat, which makes it really easy because if you're ever looking for brain dead projects, we all need them. You get fatigued, you've done market prep, you've made a bunch of difficult items, you want something a little bit nice and easy where you can just check out, watch a TV show, and go to town. These 1-row repeats are really good for that. Really good for that. Thank you, Becky. I hope you're trying it. I hope you're trying it. Hopefully yours is looking great too. So we're going to keep going. This would be a really good stitch for a mesh top. I would definitely recommend this for a blanket, obviously. A shawl. This would look really good. And I know this is a small camera on this one, but my triangle shawls, you guys could do V-stitches with that. V-stitches are great for stuff like this because they're nice and open, but you're still going to get a solid piece. Don't forget here, we're going into the turning chain. Getting those 2 stitches can be very difficult. If you're looking at it from above, you're wanting to grab both of these. My cheat is I go through the top one, I use my hook to hook through the bottom, and then I can pop that hook through and it will grab the 2. So I don't know if that'll help you guys. That turning chain, depending on how you guys chain, if it's too tight, it'll be harder. If you chain loosely enough, you'll be good. But again, if it goes too loose, you might end up with bigger gaps on the edges, and your edges might start looking like this, where the rest of your piece kind of looks tighter. That just means you need to chain tighter. But that is a nice, easy way for you to always grab the 2 stitches. And then we're going to turn the pages of our book, get all these yarns out of the way, all these strands, and chain 3. All right, you guys should be rocking and rolling. Let's finish 2 more rows of this color so we can go to our border. And any questions at all, feel free to throw it in the chat. If you guys need me to slow down and demonstrate anything, I'm down. I'm here for you. But yeah, let's get a couple more rows under our belt, and then we're gonna do I'm gonna do the border that this pattern recommends. But there are a million borders out there for blankets that you could do on this. This one looks like it's gonna be a simple single crochet border. I did not keep track of our right side versus wrong side. I don't think it really matters for this pattern. If you had a wrong side versus right side, when you do the border, you just want to make sure the right side is facing you. So if this was the prettier side, make sure it's facing up before we start the border, but we'll get there. I don't remember which one was which. It probably is the other one, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. Yours looks like mine. That's a good sign. That was not supposed to rhyme as well as it did. All right, I'm going to do one more row. I'm doing one more. Turn the pages of our book. 1, 2, 3. But you see, this one actually works up really fast. So for someone who, you know, they want something that'll work up quickly, but it'll still have a lot of like texture and openness, this might be a good blanket alternative for all those people that are like, ooh, a blanket's a commitment. This one could go fast, and it won't use quite as much yarn because it is not as solid as other stitches. Most people, when they're doing blankets, they're using something solid, and you're ending up with something like this where you have very little gaps in between the stitches, and they can use up a lot of yarn and take up a lot of time. If you want something quicker, doing something more like a mesh or a V-stitch or something like this, way less yarn, and it's going to work out quicker. Nice, nice. Yes, Elizabeth. It is very pretty, and I'm sure it would make a great blanket. I would totally use this on a shawl. I could see doing like an oversized shawl because it's nice and open. So I could see doing like one of the big dramatic, like half your body width shawls. I think that would look really good with this stitch too. Okay, we're gonna do our final double crochet. Did we decide? Do you guys want pink or gray on the border? Does it matter? Is either one easier to see? Throw a color out there. What do we want? I'll go ahead and read through the border section. I hope so, Becky. I hope so. So with right side facing, join A with slip stitch to bottom right corner. So it's saying to do color A. It's up to us what we want to do ultimately, of course. Dropped my little pointer. But then when we figure that out, so bottom right hand corner, we'll do that. Then you're going to chain one, work one row of single crochets evenly up the side edge. Fasten off. Now, I'm not going to fasten off. I'm going to do a border around the whole thing. Just because I think it'll look better to be consistent. But let's go ahead and we'll mimic it. Nobody told me what they wanted to do, so I am going to switch to color A. So we're going with pink on the border. Fasten off. To fasten off, I'm just doing another slip stitch, or what? No, a chain, sorry. I'm just chaining and I'm pulling all the way through. You can pull that tight. Okay? This, hold on, which one was our right side? We chained, and then we went, which one was our right side? It will tell us because it said right here, foundation row, right side. So we've already done that, and that is our foundation row. Okay, so we're going to join color A, and we're going to work our border. I'm going to do single crochets all the way around. I also like to add more in the corner because otherwise you're going to start curling your corners in. So we will do 3 single crochets in the corner. If you guys are not new to crochet and you understand all that, feel free to work ahead. For those of you who are learning all this, here's how we're going to do it. It said to join the yarn. Hold on, we joined with a slip stitch? Let me make sure. Yep, join with a slip stitch to the bottom right corner. So I'm going to make sure I don't grab part of the stitch. So you want to do the 1, 2, and we're going to go into this one, because you want to make sure that there's 2 skip stitches and then the length of our double crochet. I like to grab still, oh my goodness, the 2 loops of that braid. So hopefully you guys can see that. We still have, I'm going to pull it up just a little bit so you guys can see. Here's, let's not make things more complicated. I want this stitch, because as you can see, we've got the one we went into, 1, 2, 3. If I go too early, I'm going to be creating a diagonal and be making it non-symmetrical with this. So that's why you want to make sure that we're inserting our hook into that stitch right there. Boom. Join with a slip stitch. So I didn't tie my yarn. I'm literally holding the cut piece. Same way I would join a color B. I'm just pinching it to my work. It's in front. I'm pinching it and we're pulling through. And it said chain 1, so we're going to chain 1. Now, a lot of you are like this, when we weave this in, you're going to tie it in, I tie it in a knot is what I'm going to do. But we will get there. So we're going to start working up the side because the pattern dictated to go up the side. It did not even say to do single crochets on the edge. I want to stay consistent, so we're going to do this all the way around. So we're going to start, usually you want to mimic the amount of chains. So since we have like a chain 3, technically you could do 3 chains. I'm going to start by doing 2 chains per each stitch. And I'm going to pay attention. Does it start pulling it tight or does it pull it wide? Because if you do 3 per stitch, you might start seeing some flaring and you want it to be consistent. We did pink, Becky. I'm glad because I just saw your comment. So we're going to start by single crocheting into, does it say if they want us to go around the thing? I might go around it. It does not tell us. Go figure. So this is a judgment call. What does that mean? Well, because technically we can go around this or we can crochet into this. And I think it'll look cleaner if we go around it. So I'm going to pull this and I'm going to actually crochet around my loose tail as well. You don't have to tie it. It'll be fine. It's not going anywhere. We're crocheting around it. So single crochet, insert your hook. Make sure it's going under the whole post and make sure it's also that you're holding that piece of yarn because we don't want to weave it in as we go. We want to crochet over it. It minimizes you having to weave in ends at the end. Single crochet. You're pulling, is this, it is Trippy Panda, Miss Tara. This is your blanket pattern and we've already been going through it. So you're going to have to watch the replay, but it's perfect. I figured it was you, Tara. I figured. So we've done our single crochet. You're pulling up 1 and now you're pulling up 2. We're going to work a second one right there. Pull up 1, pull up 2. This is a judgment call. If you guys are super tight, you're going to want to do 1 more here. Technically a double crochet can hold 3 stitches because you had 3 chains replace the double crochet every time we would turn. So technically speaking, you can do 3. However, again, I am seeing this and I can see the 2 stitches are kind of about the same width. I'm just going to do 2 in each stitch all the way up the side. So we're going right back around here. Pull up 1, pull up 2. Pull up 1, pull up 2. So now we're doing single crochets all the way up the side. Keep in mind there are a million types of borders you can do. Some people will even do little like what are they called, picots, where you have little sets of chains going in between and it'll create like a ruffle going around. There's also a crabtree stitch, which is just slip stitch, chain one, slip stitch, chain one. That's a really good one. It creates like a really fun braid that goes across the border. There's a lot of borders you can put on blankets. But I do recommend them. They give it a nice polished, finished look. I recommend it, but I have a lot of patterns that don't use borders either, so it's entirely up to you guys. And we're going to do 1 and 2. So you should be getting to the edge of that first side. Now, technically the pattern says to go ahead and fasten off right here. And if that's what you want to do, go ahead. I'm going to try going all the way around just because I want to see what it'll look like. But in order to make sure I don't curl the corner, I've got to create a corner, which is usually 3 stitches. So we're going to want to do 3 here. I'm doing a spool for every stitch. A spool for every stitch. I'm doing a single crochet, 2 in each stitch. And I teach a lot of stitches. I don't know. I want to answer your question, but I feel like I didn't know if I was answering it correctly. So in this corner, I'm going to do 3 single crochets, 3 of them. So 1, 2, and 3. That is going to take this border and turn around. If you don't do 3, you're going to start seeing this do this, and you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. Oh, yes. Okay, single crochet. God bless typos, right? Notice we have this right here. We can leave it aside and crochet across, or we can crochet over it and not have to weave it in later. I vote crochet over it. Now here, we actually have an appropriate number of stitches to look at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm probably going to go at the top of the stitch, into the space, top of the stitch, top of the stitch, into the space, top of the stitch. And we're going to do that all the way across, and then we're going to work our 3 in the corner again. So we're crocheting over the gray, so leave that there. Insert hook and single crochet. So up 1, up 2. Going into the chain. You can go into the chain itself. It's going to take that, and you'll have the 1 below it. I'm going to make my life easier and just go into the chain 1 space. The only difference is you're going to see it wrap around right there versus going inside like you see it going inside this stitch right here. So hopefully that makes sense. Then we're going to go right back over here and single crochet. At the top of each double, into the chain space at the top of that last double. And keep going all the way across. And see, you're forming a nice, consistent border. And when you get to the corner, we'll do 3 again. Is anyone else's yarn squeaking? Oh, mine's starting to squeak. I apologize if you don't like squeaky yarn. Keep going. Keep going. Is everyone still doing okay? When you get here, we're going to work 3, but don't forget we have this little turning chain we have to factor in. So make sure you grab that. I did not grab this yarn, so I'm just going to cut it because I don't really need to keep bringing it through. It's got enough. And we're going to do our 3. 1, 2, and yes, there's a lot going into that stitch, so it is a little snug. And 3. Notice how it's already taking us back down. That's what you want. That's what you want. You can kind of just stretch it out, get those stitches all nice and even. And now we're going to go down this one. Again, 2 in each side tends to be best. And when we get here, you can crochet right over this. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Did anyone try 3 stitches per row? I feel like that would definitely make it warp. So hopefully no one took me on that, because I feel like now in hindsight I'm like, that definitely would not work well. Here's where I have that color change, so I'm going to keep crocheting over that to hide it. 1 and 2. I'm going to keep going, crocheting over that color change. The border just ties everything up and makes everything all polished. That is the benefit. We're now at that corner. I want to do my 3 stitches into that right there. Boop. I am going to keep going over my strands, so make sure to hold all those together. 1, 2, and 3. And you should see that it's taking you around our final side. Should have something looking like that. I'm going to keep going with some of my yarn, and then I'm going to be cutting it. But here's where it gets a little bit tricky. We have 2, then the one that it's all going into. 2 chains, and then the one it's going into. I'm going to crochet around the whole chain to be consistent with some of this. And I'm not going to skip here. So that means 2 stitches here, 1 stitch here. 2 stitches here, 1 stitch here. 2 here, 1 here. So let's go ahead and demonstrate. 1, 2, and then into the stitch. I'm going to go ahead and cut these so the next time I go into the stitch you guys can see it really well. But I think you get the point. I think by now you guys are becoming experts. I can't see what I'm doing. I can't see what I'm doing. Give me a second. There we go. All right. So let's keep going. We know there's 2 chains here because we skipped 2 when we went there. Everything looks good except the bottom border. It's too wide, like too many stitches. Only the bottom border. Did you do 2 in each, or did you, because so far, yeah, I'm kind of nervous too. You've got me nervous now. We'll find out. If we gotta frog it, we gotta frog it. Did you do what I'm doing? The 2, 1, 2? Because what I could always do is go back and just do 2 in each. It shouldn't though. That's really weird. 2, and then into the bottom of the V-stitch. 1. You did 1 each? So then I would just frog the side that looks too wide and distribute the stitches evenly different. Like less. And then we should be doing 2. We still have to do 3 in the corner over here before we actually join and fasten off. So pick that chain, and we're doing 1, 2, and 3. We should now, I'm just double checking. Yeah, it should. It's a little bit off, a little bit wonky, but I think it just needs to be blocked, to be honest with you. Because when you block, you're settling in all the stitches. So the only thing that would be left to do, slip stitch to the first one to join, and then fasten off. Boop. And then you've got yourself a wannabe blanket. Blocking. when it comes to these bigger projects, blocking starts becoming kind of important because it helps the drape of it. My favorite way to block is to go to an ironing board. And yes, this is polyester. Actually, no, this is acrylic. I'm sorry. So you want to be careful not to be too high on setting. So if you're nervous and you want to be super careful, I use an old t-shirt. I put it on top and then I'll iron over. I do a heavy steam setting. But remember, steam is hotter than anything else. So go slowly, do a low steam setting at first and work your way up. But what it does is it helps settle the stitches in, because right now the yarn is used to being straight and it's now bent. So it'll settle those stitches in. I can't explain it. You have to see it. If you've never blocked, you don't know what I'm talking about. You're like, what's the big deal? When you finally start blocking your work, you're going to be like, oh, that's the big deal. And for things like shawls, you notice it. For blankets, you notice it. Like the bigger projects, especially ones that you want to drape really well, you notice it. So I would definitely, at this point, take this. You're going to iron it, go over it, and just kind of like get a good stretch. Make sure everything looks where it should before you actually like set it in there. And then you iron, and it should hold up a nice shape. So awesome. Awesome. You fixed it. It was because you didn't want to cut your yarn, so I went right into the border with the same yarn. Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, fair enough. But yeah, I figured you were able to fix it. But yeah, if you go into it with the same yarn, it still can be done, but sometimes you might pull it a little too tight or something. Now, I know some people don't know how to fasten in ends, so let me cover that real quick. And then that'll be it. If you guys have any ideas on what you kind of want to learn for next class, we had a few ideas on TikTok that got discussed. But I'm down for whatever. I like to tailor this to you. All I want to do is hide this yarn. So the best way to hide it is into the stitches. I feel like that's a deep, you were going into the stitches kind of statement. Thank you for explaining gauge. I do the best I can, Pat, to be honest with you. I never pay attention to gauge. So, I like patterns that show me how to manipulate it based off of the size that I'm wanting to get it to. For me, that's my favorite approach. That's also how I write my own patterns. So, but you see how I'm just going into the stitches, guys? I'm looking for where it would be crocheted into because I want it to hide under all these loops. So I'm just going to take my yarn needle and just fish it under all of these stitches. There's really not a whole lot. You don't want to pull it super tight because if you pull it super tight, you're going to see how it's warping the project. So you want to keep the tension the same, but you're just hiding this into the stitches. Some people like to keep going, but you'll notice that when it pulls, you'll start seeing the end kind of come through. So if you don't want to go too far, you can go back. You just have to go back over this way. You can't go back into this way or you'll undo everything you just did. And you can go back and forth in a small section discreetly to lock in this loose thread. Just make sure right there you don't want to pull too tight or you're going to start pulling that thread down under. That's okay. You just avoid it by doing that and you'll go back this direction. And by now, see, I don't pull it too tight. Don't pull it too tight. By now it's pretty locked in. So you can go ahead. As long as you go back and forth 2-3 times, you're really locked in. Don't forget we also tied it in a knot before you even got to the point of locking it in. So that is it. How many of you guys are ready to go to the store and get your favorite yarn now and make it? How many? How many? I hope you guys will. I really hope you guys will. And if you're new here, let me know that too. I want to get to know you guys. But we teach every week, Thursday on YouTube. 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, so I will be here same time, same place next week. I have the beginner's tool. It's in the description. If you guys want to print off this pattern, I've put the link to this in the description. My link tree is also in the description, so if you guys head to all of that stuff, you should be able to get anything you need. And then if you guys are looking for more live crochet, I'm on TikTok almost every day, Monday through Friday. I usually get on around 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, sometimes earlier. It all depends. You guys can always drop in, ask me a question. You guys can always come by and chill with me, whatever works for you guys. No, Elizabeth, thank you. But we will be here the same time, same place next week. I have no idea what we're teaching. If you guys have any requests, this was a request from one of your cohorts in here, Miss Tara. Miss Tara, Trippy Panda is Tara. She is the one that requested this pattern. So again, I make this class for you guys. So if you guys have anything that you really, really desire to work on, feel free to let me know. Last week we did this. Well, not last week. It was a 3-week class. We did the plant. This pattern is now live. I also have the finished item live. So if you guys want to go to my Etsy shop, I just listed it today. You guys can go ahead and buy that. You can also purchase the pattern. But again, if you guys want to learn anything specific, let me know. I know our crochet, we have a whole Discord of our whole crochet community, and our project of the week has been these stingrays. So we have patterns in the Discord. We have a ton of things there for you guys. I will put that link into the chat so that anyone who wants to join can. Great community, great for just collaborating with other stitchers. We are doing all the things. So let's paste that into the chat, and then that's kind of it, guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you turn on all your notifications. I am pinning that. And if you guys want to get connected with some other stitchers and join in on all these projects of the week and all of the fun, that is where we're at. We're on Discord, we're on TikTok, and I'm here every Thursday at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So you guys are all set with everything you need. Again, I teach crochet, I write patterns, and I also sell my finished products. So feel free to ask me anything about any of those topics. I also do Color Street. So I'm down for all of that. I am here for you. But other than that, I hope you guys tag me. If you guys post any of your finished products, please tag me. I want to see your beautiful creations. I want to see you guys turn this into a full-size blanket. So I am looking for all you guys to tag me in your finished product. But let's go ahead and keep stitching. All right, guys, I am going to take about a 20-minute break, and then I'm going to hop over on TikTok. I will be there for anyone who wants to see more live behind-the-scenes stitching action. We have some fun. Elizabeth, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone who did this. Great job today. Great job, and I'll see you next week.